Hello and welcome back to Knickerbocker Glory. I'm your host, Evan Edinger, and today we're going to be doing a Q&A because I haven't done one of those in a really long time. And for those of you who didn't see my video last week, that's cool, but we're going to be doing intros from the community. All you got to do is be subscribed to the channel. That's what that little red button means. That's cool, I can see that now. And leave a comment in the format of, hello and welcome back to whatever you want. And let's get started with the video. How did your friends and family react to you wanting to become a British citizen? I actually have three groups of people in my life and three distinct reactions. One, you guys seem to be like, really? Are you sure about that? This place? Mostly British viewers were like, what do you mean? But I'm pretty sure that would have happened regardless of where I went. Like, for instance, when I decided to learn German, all my German viewers were like, Ehrlich? Deutsch? Warum? But that's just how it is. Now, when it comes to my friends, they were actually incredibly supportive, probably because they've been with me the whole time. They've seen me go from job to job where a company goes under, and then I have a short amount of time to get my visa reinstated, and I've tried so hard to get to the level I am at now. And so I think my friends, because they've been here the whole time, have been like, yeah, frick yeah, go for it, man. So very supportive. Also, because the alternate is me leaving, so thanks for being my friend, bye. The last one being my family. So initially, the actually opposite thing. They were not supportive at all. And to be honest, I don't really have as strong of a family connection as most people. It's part of the reason why I moved to the UK in the first place. But my mother specifically was not very keen on me becoming a British citizen. And I remember her having a phone call with me where she was crying and very upset because she was like, US is the greatest country in the world. How could you do this to America? It wasn't really her fault necessarily, as before this point, she had never left the US at all. And so never really knew. But it's kind of like if you've only ever had chocolate chip cookies. You've never tried any other cookie in your life. And someone says, oh, you know, there's like loads of other cookies. And you're like, yeah, chocolate chip's obviously the best. I haven't tried any of the other ones. But chocolate chip cookies, man, they're the best. You can't really have that opinion without ever trying. Luckily, since then, I've gotten my mom to visit me in England. I've taken her to Dusseldorf, Germany, to Amsterdam in the Netherlands. And so I'm pretty sure she has much more of a better understanding of how countries outside the US are. And maybe things aren't as bad as US media depicts them. Probably. If you are interested in what my mom's thoughts were her first time out of the States, I have a couple videos up on my travel vlog channel where I take her to Germany and Amsterdam. It's a pretty good time. Will you ever discuss town planning and houses in British versus Americans? You know, I didn't know that that was a thing that anyone wanted, except for the fact that, well, it's the most upvoted post in the community tab for this Q&A, so I guess you do. There's a poll. Would you like to see that? See, that's a British versus American video that I think would actually just need to be just me. I don't know how many people I know that are really well educated on town planning and houses, so that's just something that would take a lot of research on my end, a lot of editing on my end, and to be honest with you, when I do British versus American videos, the format is me and another person. I'm very much like that. I like that we bounce off each other, and it's like a cultural exchange. If it's just me making the video, that's fine, but I do like to usually reserve the British versus American videos for guest ones. However, I am in isolation. I can't really have anyone over except for my housemates, so maybe. Have you ever questioned your decision to be a YouTuber? I'm sure that being a public figure comes with costs that we, the viewers, cannot imagine. I've been a fan for years. Well, thanks for the question, Sasha. The way you even worded it sounds like it's like, oh, there must be such horrible costs to being a public figure. Not really. The thing is, no matter what job you have, no matter what you're doing in life, you will have hardships. Those hardships will be relative to what you're doing. So if I just started off answering this question with, yeah, man, it's really rough when this happens or this happens, people will immediately bring their own experiences in. And if they view their experiences as worse, they will immediately be like, oh, what you think you're on about? I have to wake up at 4 in the morning. But to answer your question, have I ever questioned my decision to be a YouTuber and are there costs of being a public figure? Not really, because I did always start it off because I liked it, because it was a fun hobby, and I liked watching videos and I wanted to make them. I wanted to make people laugh, and I wanted to just have a fun hobby that was different. I don't know, that's why I did it, and I'm still doing it. In terms of what are the costs of being a public figure, I think it's just that it's such a new role that a lot of people don't really know what it entails, whereas when you grow up, you hear about jobs like being a policeman or being a doctor. Everyone knows basically the ins and outs of those jobs. Not the niche stuff, but you know what I mean. With YouTuber, you're like, oh, what's he do? A quick example of a cost of being a public figure. The way I answered this question, how long did it take me to actually get to answer the question? I had to fill it out in the beginning with bits and pieces so people don't necessarily get offended because I didn't immediately pat it down. So you kind of have to be a bit more careful with your words, because no matter what you say, there will be a small subset of people that will be offended at something you say. As a quick example, a video I made a couple weeks ago, I said, well, the UK is made up of 4 countries. Some people threw their arms up. Did he just say that? Northern Ireland's a country? Well, I Googled it. I looked up some stuff. Turns out some people consider it a country, some people don't. So was I wrong? No. Was I right? No. Being a public figure is like navigating a minefield of people being upset with lighthearted type of videos. I'm not trying to say I'm some type of professor over here of content. I'm just having a fun time chatting. I'd like to have a world in which if I say something that you necessarily disagree with, you would bring it up as if you were talking with someone at a pub that you're friends with. Like you're at the pub having a drink with your mate, he's telling you a story and he's like, yeah, so the UK has like 4 different countries, and you're like, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't. I hope not. Short answer, sometimes people don't view you as a human. Any recommendations for people who are going abroad with their friends rather than their parents for the first time, post-quarantine? I don't know why the specification for rather than with their parents. Do you guys travel abroad with your parents a lot? I've literally never done that, ever. Well, except the recent story I've just said, but as an adult, I don't know. So if you're going to be planning trips with friends, my number one tip is find out what everyone's bucket list is for the place you're going. Like, what is the one thing where if they ended the trip and they did that one thing, they'd be happy? Get that from each person on your trip, and then make sure to incorporate each of those things into the schedule. So that way, sure, you can do the extra stuff that they also want to do, but as long as everyone gets that one specific thing that they want to do, I find it's a good trip and everyone's happy. Plus, it's always good to spend a lot of time finding the cool niche things that maybe not a lot of people would know about, so do some research, look up the location, and watch some travel vlogs. Where's the first place you'll go when this all ends? I'm not planning on traveling anywhere crazy. I don't plan on like taking a train anywhere far. All I want to do is just go to a cafe, sit down, have a cup of coffee with a friend, just chat. I miss that. I miss just going out and going to restaurants and catching up with friends, going on dates, doing things outside that aren't just, next to me. Yeah, it's the social aspect by far. I just miss so many people. Have your group of friends changed since moving to the UK? Like, do the people that you were friends with in the US still talk to you, or have you lost connection? Help me out here if you've also moved abroad. I think this is a thing for everyone that changes location, not even abroad. If you've moved from city to city, you lose contact with those people. If it weren't for the internet, you wouldn't have them at all. Personally, I'm such a different person. Like, I'm a completely different person than I was when I was a teen / when I was a 20-year-old American college student. I'm not that guy. And so the people that I was friends with back then, maybe I won't even get along with them now. I don't know. But when you don't see someone ever because you're thousands of miles away, it's natural to lose connection. It's not something I really stress about because I have people that are close to me now that I am friends with, so it's fine. All right, we got a couple questions from Amanda here, classic Slytherin. What are you happiest with in your life right now and why? Probably my self-improvement kick I've been on for the last year and a half or so. I'm very happy with how drastically I've been able to change my life by initiating a couple different routines. And the self-improvement stuff hasn't just been learning new skills such as like language learning or fitness, but also hopefully you've noticed into my YouTube channel, the quality of the editing and or like the camera quality. I've been spending so much more time improving that, and that's just something I enjoy doing. And it really does make me happy to know that the more I put into something, the more I get out of it. So yeah, that makes me very happy. Part 2 of your question though, what story have you always wanted an excuse to tell but haven't been able to? To be honest, I have so many great stories that I tell people at parties all the time, and they literally go over so well, but they're incredibly non-PG-13. They're not very appropriate at all. And the thing is, these are personal stories, and so I think whenever I watch like a stand-up comedian tell a story on stage, I laugh. I don't even think anything of it. However, when it's about someone else in the story, there's always that issue. Like, well, what about that person? Like, what if they hear this story? What are they gonna think of it? Wouldn't they be upset? Wouldn't they be embarrassed? Even if you change the name, change a bit of the details. Maybe one day that story will see the light of day. We'll see. And last one, what random thing can you do that you think isn't normal? My nose squeaks, okay? It's very weird. I don't think it's normal. It's not like there's anything in there. It squeaks at all times. I have a squeaky nose. I'm a gosh dang clown. Freaks everyone out. But my nose itches and I gotta give him a nice squeak. I'm sorry. If anything, what do you wish you could have done differently in high school? Nothing. I would not change anything. I'm very happy with where I am right now, and I got here based on everything that I did in high school and then some. So if I'd changed something, maybe I'd be in a different place. Maybe I wouldn't be here. I'm very much a forward-thinking person, and what can I do now to improve the future? But the stuff that happened in the past, hey, it got me where I am now. So no, I don't really wish I could change anything. I think my life was pretty good then, and it's pretty good now. I'm one of those people that strongly believes that everything happens for a reason, and you gotta make the best with what situation you have. Are you still doing your 15-minute meditation? That video helped me a lot with getting more comfortable and knowing it's okay to do it and not be some hippie. Love the videos. Thank you, Kate. Actually, I'm not doing 15-minute meditation anymore, because I'm doing 20-minute meditation. I moved up an extra 5, and it doesn't feel that long. I have now been doing it for 31 days. Today's my month anniversary, all right? And I genuinely have found it's improved so much, even more so than the 7 days, because the more you do it, the more you can understand when it comes into play outside of meditation. Like if you're walking the street, you have a breath of fresh air, you then just go, oh, focus. I'm actually present. I'm here walking down the street. I'm with my friend, as opposed to constantly having your mind barrage you with different ideas and what can I do next and what video should I do? What am I doing during isolation? Should I ask this person to make a video with me later? Like all those things constantly going out. Silence. I'm walking. This is what I'm doing. So I found that because of meditation, I've been more present recently. As you're not yet a British citizen, does that mean you're able to vote in the US general election in November remotely? Yeah, regardless of if I am or am not a British citizen, I can still vote because I am a naturally born US citizen. When I do get British citizenship, I will be getting dual nationality, so it doesn't really matter. I can still vote in both elections eventually, not just the US's. So yes, I do plan on voting in November. Did you have any cool travel plans that were affected by the current situation? Yes, sadly I did. I was supposed to be in Bali this week. I've been planning this trip for 2 years. 2 years I've been planning a trip to Bali, and you know what? It took so long to get the group of people to pick the exact date. We actually solidified, booked flights, and booked Airbnbs way back in like September, and yet here we are. It does feel like it's my fault. It's not my fault. You know, nobody expected this to happen and for everything to cancel and lockdown and all this. Because I was the leader of this trip and I planned everything and I got everyone involved, I just feel responsible that it failed. Maybe that's just part of me and my psyche, but I'm so excited to reschedule it and try and find a time when all of us can do it again, hopefully when this is all over. But yeah, it does suck so much because, like I said, I've been planning this for so long. How's your language learning going? Muy bien. I just started a B2 course for German, and it's basically like a video story followed by 5 exercises, and I find it a bit dated, it's a bit old, but I'm hoping, hey, this is something. It's helping me get B2, and I'm still reading German books, and I'm talking to my friends in German, and that's the worst part, to be honest, because I can read, I can understand, I can listen so well to German, but darn, when it comes to speaking, I, yet again, am not that good. Like, my speaking is way better than it used to be, but when I'm like DMing someone and we're like instant messaging each other, I'm so embarrassed with how slow I have to be when I have to try and type stuff out in German, because I'm like, das ist lustig, ja. Yeah, like I'm much better when I'm more confident, clearly, but I guess I just get stressed because I hate the idea of someone thinking I don't know how to speak, which makes me not be able to speak. Anxiety. It's amazing. But hey, I am still learning and I'm practicing every day, so that will hopefully get better. In terms of Spanish, moving along swimmingly. Started to learn more past tense things today, and yeah, love it. Saw a bit of Money Heist on Netflix, which is a Spanish show, and I can understand a lot of things, which was really cool. Are the avocado plants doing better? Yes, Lucas, and thank you, by the way, for being a YouTube member, hitting that old join button. Appreciate it, and joining the Cactus crew. But yes, let's go check on those avocados now. My older avocado plants, now reaching around 4 years old, are doing really well with a lot of new growth for spring, which is nice because they did go through quite a rough winter. And you'll be happy to know that the avocados I planted for my video last year are doing quite well on the windowsill, but definitely need to be repotted because they're getting quite large. Do you do YouTube for your living? Yes, I'm a full-time YouTuber at the moment. It's been this way for about a year now because I was working part-time for ages in an office doing mathy type influencer marketing stuff, but the company went under, so transition to being a full-time YouTuber, not that bad. And honestly, the more time I've been putting into YouTube, the more success I've found, so I'm very thankful for that. But also, it goes without saying, it is thanks to you guys being so supportive of what I've made and what I'm continuing to make, and also for contributing. There's so much of this content I've been making recently is like a give-take thing with community stuff. Do you play Animal Crossing? I actually don't. I feel like I'm the only person out there that is currently not playing Animal Crossing. It's kind of crazy. I've never played one in my life. I've played loads of Nintendo games, but those were never really my vibe. And when the new one came out and everyone started talking about it, I thought, they'll stop talking about it eventually. They'll find something else to... No, they haven't. This is all anyone on the internet is talking about. I just don't want to play the game. I find it very... it looks like a very addictive type of game, and I know that I'd spend a lot of hours just doing things that don't have an end. I much prefer games that have storylines, that have distinct endings, so I can play it and then be done with it and move on to something else, so I can do other things. I feel like if I played Animal Crossing, I wouldn't do anything else. I wouldn't have time to learn all these languages or run as much because I'd be too busy trying to tell Tom Nook to leave me alone or something. I don't know. Maybe when the next one comes out, I'll hop on the train. But I'm definitely a bit late to this. And now it's that part of the video in which I ask you to like the video or subscribe because I make new videos every Sunday, but you've already heard my change in inflection, and so you immediately click away from the video because you have other things you could be doing. But guess what? You're still here. Thanks. I appreciate that. I mixed it up a bit today. I make other videos though, a lot of them, so if you want to watch them, I'd appreciate it. Other than that, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.